so excited, guys. Like, I can't even hide it. I'm just so freaking excited, man. This is about to be one of the best interviews that we've had on this platform. I know I say this all the time, but the truth be told, our guest today is Moto Fire. But before that, you know how we usually start our shows. We started by just saying a big thank you. A big thank you to you who's watching. Us guys have promised to give you content free forever. That's our aim. We want to just hit you with so much content, positive, value-based content for free forever. And we're only able to do this through your support. So to each and every single person who has been watching these videos, thank you. To each person who's been sharing these videos, thank you. Commenting, thank you. Liking, thank you. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be doing this. To each and every single person who has gone into their MPESA, sent their dollars via Sendwave, used PayPal, Mook, thank you, thank you, thank you. Your hard-earned money is not in vain. It is what is enabling us to, do a serious spread breakfast here and ensure that our guests and crew are constantly eating and well-fed so that we can have a nice, long, extensive conversation. A big thank you to each and every one of you. We don't take it for granted. Hey, for all of you who are buying this merchandise, Yani, this merchandise is flying. It's for me, I think it's the most mind-blowing thing. Have it be the t-shirts like you can see on the screen. We've got them in black and white. A big thank you to you who's bought that. Have it be the hoodies like the one that I'm wearing today. Hoodies, I've got this nice thing over here that you can see that I cover. We've also got that in black and white. A big thank you to each and every single one of you. Order, order, order. We've got Snoodies, limited edition with the blue. After the blue, we're going to go to a different color. We're not going to tell you right now, but this is a limited edition until that runs out. We've got the Snoodies in black and white like you can see on the screen. We've definitely got our CTA mugs and our CTA bottles. It's good to constantly hydrate, and hydrate. So get yourself a CTA bottle. Even Mr. Lenny was telling us here today, hydrate. Last but definitely not least, before we kick off the intro, you guys are subscribing, and we're grateful. We're subscribing. Slightly up, but we're at 65% of the people who are watching this who have not subscribed. So we're going to give you the usual 5 seconds for you to hit that subscribe button. For those of you who have subscribed, take this video and share it into your WhatsApp. Like on the video. You know how the algorithm works. All these things help with the back end and helps this content to get to more eyeballs. So in 5, subscribe. In 4, subscribe. 3, 2, 1. Thank you who has been watching all the way until here without skipping. You are the true loyal citizen. Is that what we're going to be calling ourselves? Or is it stars? One of the two. We've not yet decided on a name, but before next year, I promise we will. Let's get into this. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another session of The Playhouse. Yani, behind the scenes, the conversations that have been happening are so fire, so Moto. Our guest is a legend. He is a legend. You stand on the shoulders of this legend, so put some respect on his name. He's the collabo king. America has got T-Pain. We got him. He has got hits for days. You guys, when it comes to hooks, nobody writes hooks like this guy. Maybe BN, but otherwise, nobody writes hooks like this guy. When it comes to hooks, he drops them, and you know his songs. He is the soundtrack to our lives. He's the soundtrack to my childhood. Man, it is an honor. It is a pleasure. He has worked with legends. Why? Because he is a legend. Legends work with legends. Better put some respect on his name. Better recognize our guest today. Super excited. Kleptomaniacs worked with them. Big Pin worked with them. Nameless worked with them. Issa not only worked with them, they were boys, my guys. Boys. Damn! This guy's repertoire is so huge. Feel my excitement because that is how good today's CTA is going to be. We've got a living legend in the freaking building. And let me say this. The guys who sit on this seat, it's not just about extracting value through their stories. It's about us honoring it. Us honoring them. So us guys at CTA are super blessed to have our guest with us. So, Wamai and Aizo, you gotta help me and you've gotta come correct on this one. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, some emojis there, fire emojis of those guys who are there. Put your hands together for the one, the only, Mr. Chicka Bro!
Hey, you guys!
In the building. I'm so excited, man.
I feel like there's a million people in this room. Na tuko tu wanne. I mean, that's what an intro, man.
You guy, yani, it is a honor.
Yes.
It is a pleasure
Yes.
to have you on this seat. I thank you because of even when I called you, yani,
Yes.
you moved things around to make this thing happen.
I had to.
Yani,
There was no way I was gonna turn you down. There is no way. I mean, this is a platform that is gonna go on for generations, and it is an important part of not just the music industry, but
Yes.
just life, just normal general life, because people talk about themselves and they talk about what they have been through, where they've come from, and where they're headed.
bro, your posture is right for the seat, man. Umekuja correct. First of all, sometimes I don't think we've made it, but because you're tumefika. Well, tumefika.
Anyi mulifika kitambo. Mulifika kitambo.
Mr. Lenny is here with this respect.
I mean, I've been watching this thing,
Yeah.
and I never once thought that I'd be on this seat.
Dude.
Honestly, because I've seen the people you've interviewed, and to me, they are legends. I look up to these people, Just recently, you just had DNA, you had Kina Calligraph, all these guys,
Bro,
Jimmy Gadu, Nameless, all these guys. I'm like, wow.
But you see, you're talking about guys who are your boys and guys who you work with. I told you, legend begets legend, like begets like.
Hey, by the me, I don't.
And your name has been mentioned.
Now that's the interesting bit, as in how, like, okay, because me, I just consider myself a normal person. Mtu wa kawa tu, yani, sina mengi.
Yani kawa on the outside, but legend in the inside. And let's get to hear your story. Let me just say thank you so much. Honestly speaking,
yes.
Hapa, we give you grapes constantly. Hizi grapes zinapatia wase energy. We realize that's the magic juice.
Let me tell you, hizi zitaisha. I have a sweet tooth. Hizi zitaisha.
We can stop at any time.
Yes.
And tunaenda mosmos.
Pole pole.
I will guide you back to the stories inside you, because
no problem.
Vile nimesikia behind the scenes. And that intro was not hype.
Yes.
That intro was facts. Even guys watching, they can agree with me.
Wow.
That intro was straight up facts.
Let me say I'm honored to be here, and thank you for inviting me. I really, there's things I really take seriously, like, so unaona hata nimefika on time,
bro.
Ni kama job.
In fact, let me tell guys, any job, it's 9 o'clock, it's 9:07.
Yes.
Wacha tuanze hiki.
Yes.
Lenny. First and foremost, government names.
Oh, okay. My official names are Lenson Njuki Wanganga. That is what you'll find on my birth certificate and on my ID. Yes, and so now also known as Mr. Lenny, also known as Baba Jason, also known as Baba Shiro. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's hear when you were the baby. Let's kick this thing from the very beginning.
All right.
The day you were born. Birth.
Wow. So I was born in 1979.
Yo. Class 40.
I'm mid 40s. I'm getting there. Like I'm now 44. Yes, and next year in April I'm gonna be 45.
Nice.
So tumezeeka mazee. I know I look a bit younger, but tumejaza nini kwa magoti. Miaka. Yes. So yes, and I was born in Westlands.
Westlands.
Yes.
Okay.
They used to have these. I don't know whether they were, dispensaries or money. There was these government hospitals. Zilikuwanga kwa mitaa mingi. So that's where I was born, and I was brought up in Eastleigh. Like Eastleigh is where I remember my earliest childhood. And then I'm in a family of 5.
Oh, what number are you in that 5?
I'm number 4.
Okay.
Yes. So I'm the 4th born, and I'm the firstborn son. Yes.
So beyond, just hold on.
Yes.
Kuna phone.
Yes, I think it's mine.
Okay.
Let me just.
Okay, so you're saying you're what number?
I am number 4. I have 5 siblings. That is 3 sisters who are ahead of me, and then me, and then my last born brother.
Okay.
However, I also have step brothers and sisters.
Blended family.
Yes. So, but that came later.
Okay.
Yeah. So, of course, my mom is there, my dad is there. They're still alive, and you know, they're now aged, but wako na they are, you know, they are going through stuff here and there, but tunawaweka na tuko now, and life is going on. Yeah.
Okay, so tell me now, let's talk about, so you're born in West, let's talk about, but you live in Eastleigh.
I lived in Eastleigh.
Okay, tell me a little bit about that environment and growing up there.
Yeah, so what I can remember is that as a little child, I think we moved to Eastleigh when I was maybe about 3 years old or something. And I think in 83, that is when we moved to Eastleigh. Before that, we lived in a place called Modore. Modore is a place in between Kikuyu and Wangige. Yeah, so iko mahali tu hapo katikati. And but by the time, okay, what I can remember is that Eastleigh was like home.
Yes,
because that's where we moved to, and that is where my dad comes from, the Modore.
Okay. Yes.
So so my childhood, my early childhood, tulikulia Eastleigh, and I went to a school called New Eastleigh Primary School. That's where I started my standard 1 all through to standard 5. Yes, and
how was that?
it was good. Like from class 1 to class 5, it was good, but there were issues, you know, family issues. My parents had a lot of issues, and I know there are so many, you know, people out there who have gone through such things. Yeah. So there were just issues there, which, you know, actually impacted my life in you could say negative way, but over the years I've managed to cope, and we have managed as a family to cope with these things.
When you say it affected you in negative ways, in what sense? Made you timid, or made you, like, what did you do?
First of all, my self-esteem. My self-esteem was like uko chini, you know. My mom and dad seemed to have issues as we were growing up, and there was always conflict in the house. In that, my mom, okay, what I know now is that she had mental issues. Yes.
Whoa. Okay.
Yes. But as we were growing up, we didn't know. We just used to wonder, why is my mom like this, you know, and why is our father like this? So they used to fight a lot. My mom would cause so much, you know, like whenever there's something or she needed something, she would bring a lot of domes in the house, and she used to shout and, you know, like abuse people, and especially the women in our Kaplot 10, where we used to live. And it brought a lot of issues in the family. My dad, I think, could not deal with that. Handle it actually, because it was too much. And as we were growing up, in fact, we used to really sort of, you know, not like this guy, because we thought he was a problem. Personally, I thought he was a problem. But as I grew older, and now, you know, after learning so many things and seeing a lot of things that are happening, I came to realize that he was not able to deal with my mom's issues. Yeah. And then also life was not so good to him. Yeah. And I came to realize that also my dad went through a lot in his childhood.
How crazy is that when you begin to realize it?
Exactly.
When you become a parent, it changes your understanding.
Your understanding. In fact, now when you start dating, when you become married and have kids, that's when now you start understanding how the world works and what the things that you have gone through in your childhood and what it all means. Yeah. But you might understand it and you might not understand it.
You have to work on yourself.
You have to work on yourself. And some things I've had to, you know, I've just recently just learned that, you know, these are things that they're actually illnesses. You know, people are sick out here.
Was your mom bipolar? Or
Yeah, I could say she was bipolar. I could say she had she there's a time the doctor was saying she's schizophrenic.
schizophrenic? I was going to even actually ask that.
Yes, and the funniest thing is even my dad recently has been diagnosed with schizophrenia. So, and it's weird because he's studied for that. My dad, he'd tell you he's a parapsychologist. Do you know what
I have
what
no
that
idea.
is?
No.
Well, there's a para and there's psychology.
Yes, psychology najua.
Yeah.
But para?
Para is like paranormal. You know, like things of this world that are not normal. Yeah. So he studied that, and
What is your dad's job? What was he doing?
well, as I was growing up, my dad, I know him as a taxi driver. But before that, he's been. First of all, I know as he was growing up, he became a musician. Like
What?
Me. Yes. My dad was one of the pioneers of Starehe Boys
Yeah.
Center. They're the ones who started the school, according to him.
I like that.
Yeah, and in fact, he says he's the first head boy in that school. So I don't know, maybe the people he went to school with can, affirm that. But he tells us that he was like they're the ones who started the Starehe Boys, and so as he went to school there, he realized that he was talented in music, and he pursued music like full time.
What?
Yeah, he could play drums, he could do trombone, he could do guitar. He was a very good guitarist. And like he used to say he played all the instruments, and he's also a very good vocalist.
What?
Yes. So basically my voice
Ni yake?
kutoka kwake. Yeah, basically. And I never knew that.
In the house, would he sing? Was he playing music?
Yes, he actually had a band.
What?
He had a full band. He had dancers. He had, in fact, I remember he joined, I don't know if you can remember the winner car competition.
Omopika box?
No,
winner car.
Winner car competition.
Okay.
This was for dancers. And it was, I think, in the early 90s. Yeah, and they actually emerged third. Imagine. That's the time Kina Kanda Kid, Kanda Kid, who is Kanda King now.
Yes.
We used to compete with these other guys. Rare Watts, there was Rare Watts. There were
That's
guys.
when I was thinking it's Omopika box.
No, it's not. Omopika Box was a TV show.
Yes, yeah, you're right.
Just a TV show, like.
Rare Watts.
Yes, there was.
And those break dancers.
Yes. There were guys who won actually. They won that competition. I think they won it twice, if I'm not wrong. So Jam City. Thank you, Jam City. So my dad actually had a group, and now theirs was unique because the kind of dance they were doing was not the usual break dance. He used to do what we call gambut dance. Yeah. So I don't know if you've seen that, but in South Africa they used to have such kind of, and I think that's actually where he got it from. So he used to do all those gambut dance things, and it was quite unique. And he'd play the guitar live while they dance.
So you're seeing this.
Yes.
You're seeing your dad as a musician.
Yes.
Growing up.
Yes.
So automatically, and what's that doing for you?
Well,
or that time you're not interested in music?
The thing is, me and my dad, for the longest, like, I have never had a good relationship with my father.
Okay.
So by virtue of that, we were not pals. Like I did not want anything to do with him. I didn't want to become like him. But God works in
mysterious ways, bro.
Yes. So even how I got into the music scene, even my own father does not understand how, or did not even think I was talented enough to sing. And I'll get into that.
Yeah, nakuna shida.
Yes. So yes, we grew up.
So it sounds like home is tough for you.
Very tough.
Home is
very tough.
A difficult environment. It's not your solace. It's not your place for peace.
No.
It's your place for almost strife.
Yes. The thing is, my dad had a lot of temper. And again, I think it's because of the way he was brought up and the things he went through. Because he also came from a broken family. like my grandfather had 3 wives. And my shosho was like, I think this, was it the first or second? I think the second, no, the first wife. And then, I think she was the second wife. And then at some point she decided to leave.
Wow.
Yes. So there's a part of my dad's life where he did not
Have
have
his
his
dad.
father around him. And then when he went to Starehe Boys, after now he left Starehe, he went to the States. He did a tour. They did a very big tour there with a band. There was a band called Up with Africa, something like that. And they toured all around, you know. And then when he came back, instead of finishing school, he decided he wants to go into business. And I think he also went back to the States, something like that. Then he came back, started some biasharas, even worked for some tour company. He was into agriculture and all that stuff. He did so many things. But eventually he got into music. He tried music. In fact, I remember there's a time he was telling me, or he was telling us that he's the one who started Joy Bringers. You remember Joy Bringers?
Yeah.
In KBC. He's the one who started that program.
Dude, your dad was in music proper.
Proper kabisa. Joy Bringers. In fact, there's that song that's ilikuwa inaanza that was his song. Because it was like something, I lead the way to win the race. I set my mind on his world. I work for him, I live for him. In him I'll always cry. Kitu kama hiyo. That was his song. Yeah, but he says they stole the nini from him. And, he's so right. He's so mad about that.
So let me ask you. So he's not home at this time. Is he home and there's strife?
Yeah, he's home.
He's home.
Yes.
Your mom is home.
Yes.
So there's drama at home.
Yes, always drama.
Okay. And how is the relationship with you and your siblings now? At this time?
When we were kids?
Yes. So I think when I ask these questions, I'm asking in relation to where we are.
Yes. Well, me, for as long as I can remember, we have always been tight as siblings.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, there will always be conflict between.
Of course, sibling rivalry.
Yeah, but what I know is that we loved each other, and we still do love each other to date. But because of life, the way things were, sometimes you have disagreements and all that. But as we were growing up, we were very tight. We were close. And of course, our sisters, my elder sisters, are the ones who really were there for us. Especially me, my bro, and the sister that I follow. Okay. Yeah. So, by the way, we lost our sister, our second born. Yeah, about 9 years ago. But the two of them, the firstborn and the secondborn, actually really came through for us at some point now, and I'll talk about it. So, as siblings, we were good, we were okay, we were fine. We lived through
the madness.
But I mean, life is life, and you just have to.
Bro, you're sitting here and you can speak about that. It means you've come through a journey.
Kabisa.
How was I've understood the home environment.
Yes.
It's tough.
Very tough.
What about the community?
Yes. In Isli, first of all, when we moved to Isli, the place was, it was like one of the best estates at that particular time.
Man.
Yes, and this, what I can remember vaguely, those days, it was like an Indian-dominated estate.
For real?
Yes. Even the houses that were built, they used to have these houses where, the way Indians live. Yes, they live like a community. So wakijenga nyumba zao, kuna vile, it's like 3 houses, 4 houses, but they're all joined together. Like you can go to your neighbor through a door. You can just walk in na uende. Because unakuta wainde grandfather, the
brothers, siblings,
the wives, kila mtu, aunties, uncles, they all live in the same place.
Let me say, I really love that.
Yes, and I think that has made them very strong, not just as families, but also economically and, like in business wise. And these guys have done wonders, and that's why for a long time they've dominated, the industry in this Kenya, the workforce basically. So,
but there were no Indians there.
There were in our plot there were no Indians.
But there were Indians in Eastleigh.
Yes.
Wow.
Many of them. In fact, I schooled with some in New Eastleigh Primary School.
Yo.
Yes. So the people around us, I grew up amongst Indians, Somalis, a lot of Somalis, because Eastleigh, in fact,
Pakaleo.
Yes, Somalis came and took over.
Yes.
But they were there even then. But that's now when they were now entering pole. So I grew up, it was a cosmopolitan place, basically speaking. So, all tribes. In our plot, kulikuwa na Wakisi, kulikuwa na Wakikuyu, Wakale, kulikuwa na, Wajaka, Wakamba, all sorts.
Klamtu.
Yes. So it was a really nice place. And, we would all do things together, would play, siku za makati, mashek, nini, all that. It was such a nice environment. We had playgrounds, we had, even there are some places where there were basketball courts.
For real?
Yes.
Hiyo ilikuwa noma.
Ilikuwa noma sana. It was a really nice place. The roads were good. And Eastleigh has like streets and avenues. Like us, we're in First Avenue and kuna Second Avenue. Alafu kuna First Street mpaka 12th Street. Yes. So us guys grew up on 6th Street. Now your 6th Street, that's where Garissa Lodge started. That name Garissa Lodge. There was one lodge only in Eastleigh, and that was famous, that was called Garissa Lodge. And that is where Garissa Lodge got its name from.
Nice.
Yes. So we used to live in those, in our Kaplot 10, there was, my mom used to work for Posta. And uko kwa Posta, they used to give guys houses. So she had gotten a house, a 1-bedroom house. So the 7 of us lived in a 1-bedroom house.
Whoa.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so bedroom ilikuwa ya wazazi, sito ilikuwa ya ndio bedroom yetu.
Watoi wote.
Watoi wote, yes. So, and we lived,
happily.
Yeah, we lived happily, but of course there were issues here and there, but we lived.
Okay. Niambie juu ya chuo.
Yes.
So tell me about school.
School. So, now, first of all, I remember that I started school late. I was almost late.
Hukuweza kufanya hii kitu?
Sikuingia nursery mimi. Imagine.
For real?
I didn't go to nursery school. Although, at some point, as I was growing up, I remember my dad, because things were so tough, he sent
financially?
Yes, financially. So my dad decided to send me and my bro to my grandma's place in Olkalau.
Olkalau iko wapi?
Olkalau is past Gilgil before you get to Nyahururu. Yeah, iko Nyandarua district.
Yeah.
That time it was a district. Sijui sahi kama ni what is it called? Zinatangwaje?
Counties.
County, maybe is in Nyandarua County actually. So my dad decided to take us to Olkalau, and we stayed there for a whole year.
Shags.
In Shags, a whole year. In those days, mazee, there were no phones, cell phones and all that. There was, at a landline, there was nothing. And back then, kwanza, where my shosho was, hata hakukuwa na neighbors, yani, mahali shosho amejenga, neighbor wake alikuwa uko, like, like people are so far away, apart from each other. Yeah, so it was a really nice place. Olkalau is a really, really nice place. In fact, very, very nice, good scene. Because kuna zile, the mountain, the ranges, Aberdare ranges, and they're not so far from my shosho's place. But we stayed there for 1 year. But for us to be taken there, for us it was not a good thing, because, we're going away from our family. And like our sisters and,
Wewe na bro wako?
Mimi na bro wangu. But things were tough. So my dad decided, you know what, wacha nipunguze hii nini kidogo. I take them to my mother's place. So we stayed there for a whole year. And I remember that's the first time I felt something like, because my dad when he took us there, he came once, and when he came, I think that's the time now he was coming to take us back to Isili. And I remember seeing that guy from huko far coming, amebebana na mitungi na sijui manini. And I'm like, that person looks familiar, you know, because we had not seen him for a whole year.
How old are you at this time?
I think I was around 3 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, 3, 4 there. So he came, I remember we hugged him, you know, we were so happy to see him, and, you know, and we were like, no, when do we get to go home, nini, all that stuff. Then he later came and picked us up, and we went back to Isili. But that was because my mom alileta shida. Nasema mimi nataka watoto wangu. Yeah, I didn't know at the time, but later on I came to find out my mom is the one who insisted she wants her kids back. Yeah, so of course.
So that year, that was just a gap year, like hata ukumbuki.
Yes, I remember hata my shosho tried to like enroll me in some school. I think there's a school called sijui Huherio. Yeah, it was like ndio ilikuwa imeanza tu, and then because now I was you know, I was growing, and now I was in a place where I needed to start school. And also my shosho was overwhelmed because there was me, there was my bro, and there was another cousin of mine who had also been taken there by my aunt. So, and then later on there was another cousin of ours who was not very well, also came and joined us. Yeah, so I think for Shosho it was really tough, you know. Anyway,
so you go back to Nairobi.
So we go back to Nairobi, and we are so excited. In fact, we have forgotten Swahili. We are just talking in Kikuyu. You know, and I remember my cousins used to laugh at us because now we used to visit our grandma. Now on my mom's side, she used to live here at a place called Waroko.
Waroko is Warokobani.
Yes.
Hapa
just before Kangemi.
Yeah, before Kangemi.
So my grandma used to live there, and we used to visit her quite often. And so whenever we meet, because my cousins were born and raised there at my grandma's place. So whenever we'd meet, you know, like all of our cousins from my mom's side, and they would laugh at us because we were just speaking Kuk, and they were like, hey, what's wrong with these guys? Like, what happened to them? I do English, you know, because my cousins were speaking in English. They were not even speaking Swa. So they were laughing at us, my aunties and all that. But it was funny. But of course now, because you know when you're a child,
you pick up the language.
Yes, exactly. And my shosho would only speak to us in Kikuyu. So anyway, so
do you come back and go to school now in Isili?
No. So that's the thing. Now, when I come back, still things are not good. Financially, my dad is struggling, you know, and there's so much, you know, issues going on with him and my mom. And I think at that time tulikuwa tunaingia shule at 6 years old, right? So already I was 6, and it's time for me to go to school. So I hadn't been taken to a kindergarten, so I had to start class 1. Yeah, and I even tell people I hated school, like yeah, because when I got to class 1, I didn't even know what 1 + 1 is. Like I didn't know my ABCs. I was green, like I didn't know nothing. By the time I'm getting there, kids na yani watoto wanajua kuandika. I didn't even know how to write, because I mean sijaenda nursery school, so the basics, I didn't have the basics. I didn't have the foundation. Yes. So it was really tough for me, and immediately I just hated school because now I had to catch up, and there was no coaching. Like there was no coaching. I just had to catch up.
And what school is this that you go to?
I went to New Isili Primary School.
Okay.
Yeah. For those who know Isili, I know you know about the school. So tukasoma class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4, class 5. Things became very bad between my mom and my dad, and I think it was too tough for my dad. He decided we are going to move. So we moved to that place called Modore. We moved back there.
The place between
Kikuyu and Wangige.
yes.
Yes, just near a place called Gitaru. Yeah.